Hi everyone, and very good morning to you. Welcome to Jerez de la Frontera for the next round of the Ferrari Challenge TropheoPirelli Racing Series. About to get underway in the sunshine here. The grid is assembled, as you can see, having done qualifying this morning, which saw our guest driver, Alex Paulo, put it on pole position. There, the calendar, as you can see, as we reach the sharp end of the championship. We're here in Jerez before heading off to the USA for the World Finals in Daytona right at the beginning of December. All the information at races.ferrari.com. That's the place to find out all you need to know about the Ferrari Challenge. The circuit location here right at the bottom of Spain, Jerez de la Frontera, which is blessed with lovely temperatures and lovely weather conditions for the racing about to get underway. This 4.42 kilometer circuit, which features 8 right-hand turns and 5 left, making a total of some 13. And there is just what the images are in the paddock at the moment. Track temperature then 35 degrees. The air temperature, a really rather lovely 25 degrees in the shade of the palms, as you can see there. So lots of people here to enjoy the race action to come from the Ferrari Challenge. It's TropheoPirelli cars that are on track first of all. They, of course, are split into their Pro and AM categories. The AM category championship has already been won by the Stratstone Ferrari supported Sam Smith, who will be going from P4 on the grid, the best of the AM drivers. And he already sealed the championship last time out at Hockenheim in Germany, having points haul of some 190 going into this round versus Thomas O'Rourke on 87. Still all to play for in the Pro category of the championship, though, with Bjorn Grossman on 165 and Philippe Baron on 124. Points awarded, of course, for the win, but not only that, fastest lap, pole position as well. And there you can see the Hublot safety car ready to send the cars away on their formation lap. So, Jerez de la Frontera is where we are for this round of the Ferrari Challenge. So we're back to the situation live on track then, and I mentioned our pole position driver, Alex Paulo, who competes in GP3 with Campos Racing, started in GP3 back in 2015. And this is where our World Finals is going to be, at Daytona. Cannot wait for that. Right at the beginning of December, Daytona is where we head for the World Finals of the Ferrari Challenge. What a backdrop that is. And the banking, which I am told you cannot walk up, is that steep. So looking forward to that. So I was talking about Alex Paulo, who went straight to GP3 from a couple of seasons in Euro Formula, making his debut today. And of course he knows the Jerez de la Frontera track pretty well. And that was proven in terms of his qualifying, where he boasted a time of 1:47.984, as opposed to Bjorn Grossman, a 1:48.784. Vladimir Atuev then, 2 podiums in 2 races. We saw him at the Sochi Raceway in Russia when we were there, just prior to going to Hockenheim in Germany.
Hola a todos, I'm Alex Paulo. Currently I'm driving for GP3, but here this will be my first race in Ferrari Challenge in Jerez. And I'm driving for Style F, great team, great people, and let's see how it is. Welcome to Spain, welcome to my country. We're in a great place in Jerez de la Frontera, and we have a great weather, great people also, and great passion for Ferrari. This will be my office for this weekend. I discovered this car, this office today, so it's my first time. I'm getting used to, because it's quite different than what I'm used to, but it's a very enjoyable car with a lot of horsepower, a lot of grip in the corners also, so I'll try to do my best. This is the truck for this weekend. It's a very technical truck, a little old school truck, because we don't have tarmac at the exit of the corners, but there is slow speed corners, long straights, fast speed corners, so it's a very good truck. So now enjoy the Ferrari Challenge races with us.
Cheers, Alex. Thanks very much. And he, of course, knowing this circuit well, has done a great job in qualifying and will be going from pole position. It's P16 in the points at the moment in GP3. And his best result, a P2 in race 2 when GP3 was at Silverstone. So just a few seconds away from the formation lap getting underway here at Jerez de la Frontera. And as Alex Paulo said, it's a very technical circuit, bit old school, because there is no acres and acres of tarmac runoff area. So if you get off the track, you are likely to be punished for that. Bjorn Grossman then, who leads the pro points on 165. Having a conversation with him yesterday, enjoying his time here in Jerez. Engineered by Octane 126. There's the Stratstone Ferrari supported FF Corsa run. Sam Smith then, who has already sealed the AM Championship in Trofeo Pirelli. So hoping that Sam will continue with the Ferrari Challenge for 2017. Probably elevating up to the pro category rather than AM. That would be a fantastic challenge for him. Philip Barron then will go from P3 on the grid, the Rosso Corsa racer. Former world champion, of course, and Philip Barron hugely experienced in the Ferrari Challenge and goes from P3 on the grid. We see car number 39 of Vladimir Atoev, who made his debut for SMP Racing in the Ferrari Challenge when we visited the fantastic circuit at Sochi. And he was very impressive there and remains very impressive in the Ferrari Challenge. Missed out on the Hockenheim rounds, but he's back here in Spain and very much looking forward to the World Finals in Daytona, a little tease of which we saw earlier in the program. That to come right at the beginning of December, the conclusion to the Ferrari Challenge across all the regions, both Europe, Asia Pacific and also North America, and then the hugely important World Final races to be contested on the final day of what will be a phenomenal Ferrari festival at the Daytona circuit. So the Hublot safety car then has left, and that means we are just a couple of seconds away from the cars being released as well. Rolling start for the Ferrari Challenge, 30 minutes the race duration, and on board from Alex Paulo as he looks forward for Style F Squadra Corsa through the windscreen of his car, and indeed the cars are released then on their formation lap. They go uphill towards turn number 1, which is the first of the right-handers. Little blast of throttle before they will go into turn number 2. So plenty of weaving from side to side to generate some temperature into the tyres and also into the brakes as well. The Martin Nelson car there, the fantastic livery that adorns the number 13 machine going from P7. This is what it's like from the driver's eye perspective. And here's the grid in full for you. Paolo, P1, Grossman, P2. Then it's Philip Barron for Rosso Corsa going from P3, with the Stratstone Ferrari driver Sam Smith going from P4 on the grid. So the first 2 rows of the starting grid for race 1. Vladimir Atuev, then it's Alessandro Vezzoni going from P5 and P6, with Martin Nelson and John Ferrano then on the next row, with Benanati, Thomas O'Rourke and David Gosner. Qualifying from David Gosner was not what he expected. There, the Andalusia banner across the top of the track. To the bottom of the screen, all the social media opportunities for you to be part of the Ferrari Challenge. As the cars make their way now through turn 7 towards turn number 8. Races.ferrari.com, though, of course, the website, the portal for everything you could wish to know with regards to the Ferrari Challenge. So some fairly vigorous weaving going on by some and less by others as they head towards the starting line. So inside the Stalev Squadra Corsa garage then, with their driver Alex Paolo going from pole position, giving himself a supreme opportunity to take maybe his first win. They're the Auto Roper crew. And the crowd ready to enjoy race number 1. It's a long lap here, 4.4 kilometers, 8 right-handers and 5 left. Christian Birchinger from Octane 126 just suddenly realizes he's the focus of one of our cameramen and lights up into a smile. Of course, his driver Bjorn Grossman is P2 on the grid. So a real fight between these two as they head into what will be turn number 1 right at the very start, concluding the formation lap right now. We'll throw the lights to the top of the screen for you. The engine note will rise as the cars all head towards the timing line. There, the lights at the top left-hand side of the screen for you as we go green. Good start from Bjorn Grossman there. Is he going to be able to get his nose in front? Yes, he is. Bjorn Grossman goes into P1. Sam Smith up to P3. Alex Paolo then relegated to P2. Alessandro Vezzoni is P4 as they go through turn number 1, head into turn 2, going slightly downhill. Philip Barron then trying to hassle Alessandro Vezzoni, but Vezzoni is through into P4. And Paolo then not getting the start that he would have liked. Bjorn Grossman doing a fantastic job right at the start, and now he is up the road like a thing possessed, opening up a margin over P2 Alex Paolo already. Fantastic circuit, as you can see, the jaw-droppingly beautiful backdrop here in Spain. Philip Barron then just denying Vladimir Atuev, who was just taking a look at the inside of the car that's currently running in P4. Vladimir running in P5. There is Philip Barron in the number 91 car driving for Rosso Corsa then, who is P4. Barron now lighting the wick up on Alessandro Vezzoni. Barron relegated to P5 now. Through the sectors, as you can see, down on the bottom of the screen, as Barron just took a sneaky look at the inside of Alessandro Vezzoni going into the chicane, but it wasn't to be. Vezzoni's rearview mirror is full of that Philip Barron car, and of course that's slowing that pack up because Vezzoni is having to think about defending, and Vladimir Atuev is trying to buy into the battle as well. Running right at the very back at the moment is Benanati, as you can see in the all-black car, as one lap gets completed here at Jerez de la Frontera. And the order is Grossman from Paulo, and Grossman has built up a 1.4 second margin over Alex Paulo already. Both the car and Bjorn himself absolutely on it. So Vezzoni just breaks away from Philip Barron for the moment. Cars using all the tarmac, quite a bit of curb and runoff area where they can as well, to carry as much speed as possible. So this then is the TropheoPirelli race, the first of the Ferrari Challenge races across the course of this weekend, where we have both Pro and AM drivers in the race. The best of the AM drivers is Sam Smith, who's running P3 there in the all-yellow car. There is P4, and P5 is Philip Barron then, Pro driver, who's some 5.5 seconds down on the lead already. So Bjorn Grossman, the lead car, by some 1.7 seconds now through sectors 1 and sector 2. He has built up a further 0.3 margin over Alex Paulo, running in P2. So hugging the curbs on the exit of the chicane is the Rosso Corsa colours of Philip Barron. Alessandro Vezzoni, the car ahead of him in car number 27, running in P4. Vladimir Atuev just taking a look at Philip Barron there, and of course he has Marcello Puglisi right behind him, who is currently running in P7. Fastest lap was a 1:49.934, which came on lap 2 from Bjorn Grossman, and he's now 1.5 seconds ahead of Alex Paulo in P2. Sam Smith, P3, a further 9/10 down. There is Sam Smith, and those three have broken away. Although Alessandro Vezzoni now has got away from the clutches of Philip Barron momentarily, and is able to focus on trying to get on terms with Sam Smith, who's running ahead of him. So there he is, Alessandro Vezzoni, and running very wide there, getting a bit ragged was Philip Barron. That will have cost him a couple of tenths. So Vezzoni then through the speed trap, 222 kilometers per hour. And Philip Barron 220. Now Marcello Puglisi has got past Vladimir Atuev. So it's Puglisi now who is chasing Philip Barron, and chasing very hard indeed. Marcello Puglisi then, who is now running in P6 for Rosso Corsa. Both cars being engineered by the same team. However, no team orders out there. Puglisi is running in P3 in the points, only a few points behind Philip Barron. So if he can find a way past the all-blue machine, he's certainly going to go for it. There is Puglisi then. Just look at the debris across the air intakes right at the front of the car. So another lap completed. 1.546 is the margin as Puglisi takes a look at the outside of the Philip Barron car going into turn number 1. They're climbing uphill into turn number 1 before they start dipping downhill through turn number 2. As you can see, through the windy section of turn 3 and head towards turn number 4, with Puglisi tracking every single wheel track that Philip Barron makes ahead. Through turn 5, kart circuit on the inside there, as you can see, it's long and sweeping around turn number 5 before the longest straight on the track, which also runs downhill before the right-hander, which is turn number 6. Heavy braking. You can hear the brakes squeal in protest, and there's the gap between Barron and Puglisi. So Philip Barron really having to defend as they go through turn number 8. The pace of these two actually is bringing them back into contention with Alessandro Vezzoni. Turn 10 and then head towards the chicane, which is turn 11, 12 and 13. Dive in, take the curb. Both Vezzoni and Barron doing that. Heading towards the final turn, which is the hairpin, which brings them back effectively onto the start-finish straight. And there's a whole lap completed here at the Jerez de la Frontera circuit. Again, Barron's back end of the car just looking a little bit wayward. And Puglisi track him, but again, he takes a look at the outside. You have to be so committed and carry so much speed through there because you're running uphill before starting to go downhill now. Barron shuts the door firmly. And Puglisi again is just trying to harry Philip Barron into making an error, which in truth he doesn't do very often. Both the cars running for the Rosso Corsa team. Alessandro Vezzoni, who is ahead of them, is running in P4. It runs for the Rosso Corsa Pellin concern. And Vladimir Atuev then, who's been passed by Marcello Puglisi, is almost encouraging these two to fight as hard as they can because that brings him back into contention. The back end of the Barron car looking really loose through that turn. And Puglisi right on the back of the Barron car. And so too Vladimir Atuev now, who's running in P7, with the fight that's going on for P5 being played out right ahead of him. Only 9 minutes into the race. Into the chicane one more time. Again, it just looking very closely at the Philip Barron car. It just looks like the back end of that car is just on occasions a little bit wayward, and that's playing into the hands of Marcello Puglisi, although after saying that, hasn't yet been able to find a way past. So Barron doing a sterling job in defense. So Grossman has extended his margin at the front. He's now 1.795 seconds ahead. So over the last lap, the margin between Barron and Puglisi just a 1/10 and a half. These 4,400cc Ferrari 458 Evo cars then are the cars that we are watching. Watching speeds of 220 odd kilometers per hour through the speed trap, as we have seen. Bit of dust being kicked up there, whether someone has run wide, whether it was Sam Smith, Alex Paulo, or Bjorn Grossman, who of course are the cars ahead. And now Puglisi again all over the back of the Philip Barron car, who's really having to focus on the rear view mirror and defend and defend and defend. Well, I caught the dust, and it was Bjorn Grossman that ran just a bit wide, and that will have cost him a little bit of time and allowed Alex Paulo to get just a little bit closer to him. In fact, it cost him a few hundredths, that's for sure, but carried the speed through. This is our race leader, Bjorn Grossman, for Octane 126 then, with a 1.503 margin over Alex Paulo, who's now flashing his lights, and those two are breaking away just a little bit from the AM driver here, Sam Smith. Sam, of course, is the leader, though, in the AM race. Full 3 places ahead of the best of the other AMs, which is Vladimir Atuev, and then John Ferrano and Martin Nelson running P2, 3 and 4, respectively. Now, the building that crosses the timing line there, it's not race control, it's actually hospitality. A phenomenal place to watch the race action. Again, Puglisi, look, lights up the brake discs as he puts so much pressure through the front brakes. Trying to just find the tiniest margin of gap that he can put the nose of his 458 into and try and get past Philip Barron. No question about it that Puglisi has got the pace. Compare the Barron time of 1:53.027 to that of Puglisi, 1:52.858. And here he goes again, right alongside Philip Barron now, but Barron with the inside line, which is always the line to have there at the turn, and that makes Puglisi just a little bit vulnerable to Vladimir Atoev in the SMP Racing supported number 39 car, which is running in P7. There you can see that Vladimir Atoev then also rated as an AM driver, and this in replay was just how hard he is trying. So it's as we were then through the chicane, turns 11, 12 and 13, and heading up towards the final turn, which actually is turn 13, this one. Some say 13, some say 14. Depends on which track map you choose to operate from. Whatever map you do operate from, the order remains the same. Alessandro Vezzoni is running in P4. Then it's this battle that's going on for P4 and 5. Which is P4 and 5, of course, in the pro category, because you have Sam Smith, who's running in P3 in the race overall. Denoted on the graphics by the letter P or AM, running across the top of your screen right now. Not quite half distance of the race. Sony is one that also runs wide on the exit of that turn number 5. Run downhill, really put the pressure on the brakes through turn 6. And then the sweeping turn 7 and even more sweeping turn 8. And Philip Barron really having to try very hard to make that 458 as wide as possible. And thus far has done a fantastic job in so doing, and keeping Marcello Puglisi behind. So through the chicane at turn 11 and 12, bouncing across the curbs goes Marcello Puglisi. Heading up towards the final turn, heavy braking, the left-hander, and onto the start-finish straight. Once again, it's as we were. All three of them getting a little bit closer to Alessandro Vezzoni now, who's running a P4 in the race overall, but the final podium position for the pro drivers. Just crossed the half distance time in the race. And there at the back is Andrea Beninati, chasing down the car of Tommaso Rocca. So we maintain the standings at the bottom of the screen for you periodically. In the AMs, it's Smith, Atoev, Ferrano, Nelson, the 1, 2, 3, 4. Then, as you can see, and Sam Smith actually running in P3 overall. And there is P5 and P6 in that category, and that the very car that we're looking at now of Andrea Beninati driving for the Stylef Squadra Corsa team. The beautiful livery across the number 13 car from Autoropa, that of Martin Nelson. And there the all-blue machine of Rosso Corsa's Philip Barron. And Puglisi has got past then. We didn't see that live. So Puglisi has managed to find at last, after lap after lap after lap of battling, a way past Philip Barron. Here it is in replay then. The inside of the turn. Barron running, being forced to run wide now onto the grass. And Puglisi having to be really forceful to try and provoke a gap, did so, and now the chase is on to Alessandro Vezzoni, who becomes the hunted around final turn onto the start-finish straight then. And Vezzoni is going to be vulnerable going into turn number 1. He hugs the inside because it's the right-hander to come at turn number 1. Puglisi will dive to the outside now, brakes really hard, and all of a sudden Vezzoni is under pressure. So wherever Puglisi puts the car at the moment, it's going to be Vezzoni that's going to have to close the gap, and now he gets right alongside. No question about it that Puglisi in the number 9 car has got pace in that Rosso Corsa machine. Whoa, very close to the inside of Vezzoni, just bailed out of it at the last moment to avoid any contact between the two of them. I expected Vezzoni there to run very wide through turn 5, but he didn't, kept it all together, and therefore denied Puglisi. 222 kilometers per hour for Alessandro Vezzoni then through the speed trap, and 224 for Puglisi. So reinforcing what I was saying about the pace that Puglisi has. Quickest of them all, though, is of the AMs is 225.5 for Martin Nelson, we could see on those graphics. So Alessandro Vezzoni then driving with the rear-view mirror through the chicane to deny Marcello Puglisi. Vezzoni is P4 in the race overall. Puglisi is P5 in the race overall, having got past Philippe Barron. And that was a brave and bold move going into the final turn. And he very nearly lost out to Philippe Barron there. That's cost Puglisi's chances of getting past Vezzoni on that lap, that's for sure. So just chose to dive up the inside, couldn't scrub the speed off, was always going to run wide on the exit, and Vezzoni, cool customer there, just good in avoidance, and well, Puglisi will now know that that's not the place to necessarily go for the gap. Vladimir Atoev then for SMP Racing, who is running behind them in P7. Driving for Motor Service, hasn't really been able to take advantage of all the fights that are going on ahead. So the live gap is 3/10 now between Puglisi and Vezzoni. So once again, Puglisi lines up the Rosso Corsa Pellin racer of Alessandro Vezzoni running ahead. And we're into the final 10 minutes of the race. And all of a sudden, Vladimir Atoev then is lining up Philippe Barron as well. So here comes Puglisi then. Certainly keeping the pressure on Alessandro Vezzoni. May I just mention up front, Bjorn Grossman has got some 3.5 seconds on Alex Paulo running in P2. So through the chicane they go then. Now this is where Puglisi had a wild moment earlier and dived right to the inside. Chooses not to do it on this occasion, but now is when he needs to put the pedal down and try and just dive to the outside of Vezzoni, but they run uphill as well, which also takes the speed out, so not able to get fully alongside the Vezzoni car going into turn number 1. Well, Vezzoni doing as good a job in defence here as Philippe Barron did for lap after lap after lap, as Atoev has got past Philippe Barron as well. We didn't see that live because we've been focusing on this battle, but Vladimir Atoev now ahead of Philippe Barron. So Barron relegated to P7 now. So turn 5, they come through. And then this long downhill section. Let's get a live gap for you between Vezzoni and Puglisi. 4 1/3 tenths then between the two of them. And now Marcello Puglisi is going to have Vladimir Atuev then behind him. Standings in the pro category then. Grossman, Paolo, Vezzoni and Puglisi, the 1, 2, 3, 4. The two pro drivers right at the front of the grid, Grossman and Paolo, right at the front of the pack, have really broken away from Sam Smith, who's running in P3 and is the best of the AMs, as you can see on screen, with Atuev, Ferrano and Nelson occupying positions 2, 3 and 4 in the AM category of the Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli. Race 1, which is what we're watching here at Jerez de la Frontera. Just look how these three have broken away from Philippe Barron as again Puglisi just tries to provoke a mistake from Alessandro Vezzoni, but not for moving at the moment, concrete-like in terms of his defense as they head uphill now towards turn number 1. Again, Puglisi just taking a look at the outside, almost hoping that too much speed will be carried by Vezzoni, and Philippe Barron has put the car into the pit lane, so Philippe Barron probably out of the race. Certainly not out these two though, as they continue to fight tooth and nail over the P4 position in the race overall, and P3 in the pro category of Trofeo Pirelli here in the Ferrari Challenge, with 6.5 minutes on the clock. It's only just kicking up a little bit of dust into the windscreen of the Marcello Puglisi car, and Vladimir Atuev then very, very tall single-seater racer as well. One of the many talented Russian drivers. He runs behind the pair of them. This is our race leader, 3.5 seconds to the good, Bjorn Grossman for Octane 126, the leader in the pro category and in the race overall. Good job being done by both the team and also the driver. Revealed to us yesterday that his middle name is Mario. So Christian and myself said that during the course of our being on air today, we would call him Super Mario, and that's certainly the case at the moment because he is P1. Leader in the AM category is that man from Stratstone Ferrari, Sam Smith. So the Rosso Corsa team then all around the Philippe Barron car. Car didn't look to be handling from the back end of it, right from the off, particularly as sharp as the other cars, and Philip having to drive through problems that he had with that, and sadly he is now out of the race, so puts Bjorn Grossman in an ever more commanding position right at the top of the championship chart, and leading the race by some 3.2 seconds. Well, lap after lap after lap of asking, Puglisi has not been able to find the answer to getting past Alessandro Vezzoni, who remains steadfast in that P4 position in the race overall. As they head down towards turn number 6 now. Fairness, Puglisi having to just think about Vladimir Atuev right behind him as well, who's running in P6. Rest of the pack come through, including the Tommaso Rocca number 97 car, with Martin Nelson ahead and John Ferrano running in P7. So it's a battle for fourth position, if you like, in the AM category, as you can see on screen, between Martin Nelson and Tommaso Rocca. Tommaso Rocca took part in a great fun pit stop challenge last night in the Ferrari Challenge hospitality area, which was a huge laugh, it has to be said. Various members of various teams taking part in that. It was Thomas Loflad, if memory serves me correctly, that won from the Copa Shell series. Their first race to come a little bit later today. In the meantime, the battle for third then in AM is between Ferrano, Nelson and Rocca. At the moment, Ferrano has got that all seemingly very well under control. So we reach the final 3.5 minutes of this race, and well, Puglisi is alongside Vezzoni, but again, because they're running uphill and then turning in. But now this is where Puglisi could make the difference if he's prepared to stick it out. Indeed he is, but Vezzoni comes back at him. There's a little bit of contact between the two of them. There was a gap there for Vezzoni to come back. And Vladimir Atoev is rubbing his hands with invisible soap, thinking, I'm going to be able to take advantage of this as well. But he's not just at the moment. So Vezzoni now did get the place back. There was a little bit of contact between the two of them, but nothing malicious at all. But Puglisi now, as they run down from turn 5 towards turn number 6, is under pressure from Vladimir Atoev, who's going to try and outbrake him and go to the inside, but discretion the better part of valor on that occasion, and choosing to bail out of that potential overtake. Martin Nelson also lighting the wick up on John Farano ahead. Martin Nelson fancying that place that John Farano has of P7 in the race overall. But he is the final podium place in the AM category. So there you can see it's the battle for P3 in AMs between John Farano and Martin Nelson. Martin yesterday I saw in our hotel and wasn't feeling particularly well, to be honest. Hopefully a good rest overnight has certainly seen him back into fighting fit form with regards to racing as he pushes John Farano ahead of him. Wonderful livery across that Scuderia Autoropa car. So they exit the final turn, and across the timing line once again. We've got less than a minute and a half of race distance or race duration left. So now or never for Martin Nelson. Pushing John Farano for all he's worth. In the race overall, Bjorn Grossman with a 3.5 second margin over Alex Paulo. The lead changing hands right at the start of the race with a supreme start from Bjorn Grossman. From turn 5 towards turn 6 go John Farano and Martin Nelson then in the AM category. Nelson right on the back of the John Farano car. For the moment, Farano is able to hold station, and Martin Nelson being denied the final podium place for the moment in the AM category of the Trofeo Pirelli from Ferrari Challenge here. We're live from the Jerez de la Frontera circuit, and leaders have now started their final lap. As Farano and Nelson then head through the chicane, and will head up towards the final turn to start their final lap as well. So John Farano then in the number 59 car, and Martin Nelson in the number 13 machine. John Farano's best finish in the AMS was a P2 in race 1 at Mugello. Right, here we are then with the race leader on his final lap. Bjorn Grossman then, who did everything that he needed to do right at the very start of the race to secure the race lead going into turn number 1. Bjorn Grossman, well, long before turn 1, truthfully, who has looked completely and totally untroubled and unfazed for the entire 30-minute duration race for Octane 126, as he has done for so many times this season. Been supremely dominant has Bjorn Grossman. And we'll be heading towards the checkered flag. And in the pro category, I think this will be win number 6 for Bjorn Grossman. As he heads towards the checkered flag, then Octane 126 have engineered the race winner once again. As Bjorn Grossman wins from Alex Paulo, who will take P2. Those are both pro drivers. Sam Smith will cross the line any moment now to take the win in the AM category for Stratstone, Ferrari and FF Corsa, and takes P3 in the race overall. P3 then in the pro category should go the way of Alessandro Vezzoni, who has managed to deny Marcello Puglisi. It's P4 overall, but P3 in the pro category. Vladimir Atuev will take P2 in the AMs, and for P3 it's going to be John Ferrano. So there we have it then, race done and dusted. Proving exactly what Alex Paulo said right at the start of the program. This is a very technical circuit and it's not necessarily so easy to overtake. So Alessandro Vezzoni then was steadfast in his defence of his position to take the final podium place in the pros and to deny Marcello Puglisi. And this in replay then. Just one of those cars running off into the gravel. It's exactly what Alex Paulo was saying about an old school circuit where there's not acres and acres and acres of tarmac runoff area. So if you're off into the gravel, that is going to hurt you and cost you dear. Retirement was Philip Barron. A non-starter was David Gosner. So on his slowing down lap then is Philip Barron. Sorry, Bjorn Grossman. Just mentioning Philip Barron because, of course, he retired his car from the race. And Bjorn Grossman really reinforcing his position at the top of the points. And on board with Alex Paulo then. The Style F Squadra Corsa racer into the pit lane. New into the Ferrari Challenge for this weekend. And taking P2. Did a lot of work in qualifying to put it on pole position, but Bjorn Grossman was superior at the start, and that's why he parks up in front of number 1. Christian Birchinger there straight away to congratulate him, the team boss of Octane 126, so well done, Bjorn. Super Mario, because Bjorn's middle name is Mario. Well done to Alex Paulo then, who will probably be, if I'm honest, just a tad disappointed not to have taken the win, particularly as he had pole position. And Alessandro Vezzoni did a great job to get P3 in the pros and P4 in the race overall, because the pros split by Sam Smith, who we can see now, who takes another win in the AM category. He's already the AM champion, having done enough. So well done to Sam. I think that will be Sam's 7th win in AMs.
Can you take, please? Yeah, sure. When you have,
So Vladimir Atuev then, that we can see there,
your face was the same face of the first time.
who finished P6 in the race overall. And John Ferrano there. So drivers will be heading off to the podium shortly. Top 3 in both of the categories then. Grossman, Paulo, Vezzoni in pros, and Smith, Atuev and Ferrano in the AMs. So there's John.
That wasn't easy. I know. Close at the end. You did a good job there. Yeah, not bad.
Highlights then of race number 1. Grossman doing a fantastic job right at the start of the race. got himself ahead of Alex Paulo, Sam Smith and Alessandro Bezzoni having a real battle for the P3 place, which it was Sam Smith to take that in the end. Philip Barron's car seemed to be ill handling and he was under pressure throughout the race. From Marcello Puglisi in car number 9 and also Vladimir Atuev in the SMP Racing car number 39. Eventually, Puglisi found a way past Barron. And it wouldn't be very long before Atuev did the same. But Puglisi was on then to the back of Alessandro Bezzoni, whilst Atuev continued to reel in Barron. That was a error, really, by Marcello Puglisi around the final turn, which was never going to work. Reinforcing Bezzoni's strength and confidence in defence. It's right to the end of the race. Whatever Puglisi threw at Alessandro Bezzoni like that, it was never going to be quite enough. Vladimir Atuev tried very hard to take advantage, but was unable to do so. It was another supreme performance by the Octane 126 driver Bjorn Grossman to take the win in the race overall. Well, these three battled all the way till the final turn, but in the end it was the way they were going to cross the line, with Bezzoni ahead of Puglisi and Atuev for P4, 5 and 6 in the race overall. So there we have it then, the highlights, and we'll be heading up to the podium next for the celebrations. So in the Drivers' Championship now, Bjorn Grossman on 187 points with Philip Barron's non-finish, meaning he's on 133 with Marcello Puglisi ahead of Bezzoni in the points. It's Puglisi P3, Bezzoni is P4. So the pro drivers out for their podium, Grossman, Paulo and Alessandro Bezzoni.
El aplauso para ellos, podium de honor para este trofeo Pirelli categoría profesional. En honor del vencedor escuchamos el himno nacional de Alemania.
National anthem then for Bjorn Grossman.
Fuerte el aplauso para ellos y especialmente para el vencedor, Bjorn Grossman, cuyo nombre ha sonado el himno nacional de Alemania, de su país, don Santiago Galván.
Well, there we have it then, the race one done and dusted, as Bjorn Grossman is going to be presented with his trophy, but it's Alessandro Bezzoni that gets his first. Stand by, Copa Shell race to come, but from all of us here at Jerez de la Frontera, bye-bye for now.
La pole para él, el mejor tiempo, segundo clasificado, Alex Palou. Y vaya carrerón para el vencedor, para el líder del campeonato, el piloto alemán Bjorn Grossman. Fuerte el aplauso para él. Asimismo también el trofeo de reconocimiento para el representante del equipo vencedor, el Octane 126. Fuerte el aplauso para el buen trabajo del equipo. Igualmente el señor Theo Mayer hace entrega de ese trofeo Pirelli al vencedor de la categoría, Bjorn Grossman. Fuerte el aplauso para ellos. La foto para el recuerdo de este podium. En el circuito de velocidad de Jerez, Trofeo Pirelli, categoría profesional. Los profesionales, la primera de las categorías, enseguida tendremos el amateur y por supuesto la fiesta del champán en el podium del circuito de velocidad de Jerez. Estamos en el fin de semana de la pasión, en el fin de semana de la Ferrari Challenge. Primer podium con los profesionales, victoria para Round6, seguido del español Alex Palou y de Alessandro Mezzoni. Enseguida vamos con la categoría amateur. En unos segundos vamos a arrancar con la ceremonia de podium en la categoría amateur. Vamos a recibir con un fortísimo aplauso al tercer clasificado en esta categoría, el piloto canadiense John Farano. Clasificado el piloto ruso Vladimir Atoev. Vencedor en la categoría Sam Smith. Fuerte el aplauso para el británico y el representante del equipo. Fuerte aplauso para Ferrari. Fuerte aplauso también para el representante del equipo en esta categoría amateur, donde el vencedor ha sido el británico Sam Smith. En su honor, escuchamos el himno nacional de Gran Bretaña. Fuerte el aplauso para el podio y para el vencedor, evidentemente, don Santiago Galván, vicepresidente de Cirquesa. Se entrega de ese trofeo conmemorativo al tercer clasificado, al piloto canadiense John Farano. Hace lo propio también con ese trofeo al segundo clasificado, al ruso Vladimir Atoev. Y por supuesto al vencedor, al piloto británico Sam Smith. Fuerte el aplauso para el vencedor de esta categoría amateur. Finalmente hace lo propio con el representante del equipo vencedor, el Slashstone Ferrari. Fuerte el aplauso también para el equipo vencedor. De igual manera, García Mayer hace entrega de ese trofeo Pirelli al vencedor, Sam Smith, el británico. Fuerte el aplauso para el podio en esta categoría amateur. La foto para el recuerdo En la segunda de las categorías, las que competían en esta primera carrera del trofeo Pirelli. En esta ocasión, categoría amateur. Ahí está la foto para el recuerdo y también, como no podía ser de otra manera, el champán.